What do you do for a living? It's a question we hear oftentimes. We hear it at social gatherings when we're introduced to someone new. They might ask us, what do you do? There's another question, a more profound question, that often gets confused in our minds with this, and that's, who are you? So those two questions are incredibly different, and the answers should be different. But the further away one is from the other, the less likely you are to be happy completely with what you do for a living, what you do in your life to make money, to do the things you really like to do. If you're incredibly lucky, you make a living doing what you really like to do. But, that's not realistic for everyone. Some of us like to fish. How many professional fishermen are there in the world? So things like that are really rare to find somebody doing what they love to do that also makes them money. Now, our goal would be to get that as closely aligned as we can. Oftentimes, though, if somebody asked me in the past, who are you? I would have answered with my job title. By default, that's just how much identity I put into what I did for a living. Now, of course, I'm older, much older, and I have a different perspective. I understand that who I am is much different than what I do. Now, hopefully the two will align enough so that I can have a lot of crossover and be happy with what I do for a living. But it's not necessarily true. So the thing I would love for you to do is ask yourself, what do you do? What do I do? And write that down. And then ask yourself, who am I? Write that down. Obviously, we're talking two columns here. One column, the other column. Who am I? What do I do? If there's an incredible disparity between the two, you might want to work on a way to bring those closer together. One problem I've seen also is that if we throw everything we have into work, if all we do is work and we identify that as who we are, then who we truly are, who we thought we could be, diminishes. It morphs into that work. If you're one of those people that are incredibly lucky and what you do and who you are synonymous, bravo. That's where we all want to be. But I would encourage you to take stock of who am I? And do it in such a way that you say, who am I? I would do it. I would say I'm an adventurer. I like to see new places. I like to be out in nature. I like to camp. I like to hike. I like to fly fish. I would say all those things, but I also I love music. I love to play music. I like to write. There are so many things that encompass a human being. So make sure you take the time to make the exhaustive list of you. And then when you say, what do? You can answer that as truthfully as you possibly can. If, one of my jobs as a solutions architect, I would write down, what do you do? Solutions architect. And then I would subtitle that, problem solver. And I would write down some details of what I do. Look where the things match and look where they don't. And then look how far off you are and think maybe how you can bring those closer together. This was just a quick one take. Thank you for listening.